Jewish New Year is upon us. In a week, Jews from around the world and the land of Israel will open up a philosophic year, a year of meditation into one's conscience, one's being, one's past, one's activities, one's memories, one's actions, one's interventions in one's destiny over the previous year. It is not a festival of pilgrimage. It is not a festival of harvest. It is not a festival of seeding. It is a philosophic festival, a festival of reviewing, of deciding, of creating punctuation. And for this reason, the prayers on Rosh Hashanah and coming up after that on the Day of Atonement are especially long and detailed and elaborate and containing contributions from communities of poetry and additions and supplements of all sorts. It is the longest prayer in the entire year, and we speak of the new year as Rosh ha-Shana, the head of the year. But the word head designates the intellectual and the sensory instruments of the body, and particularly the ability to hear and to speak. And the word shana, year, comes from the basis of even shen, which is teeth, but it really means to chatter or to repeat many, many times. Like the year repeats and cycles, so do the teeth. They have many, but they chew and they repeat. Leshanen is to repeat constantly, like the years repeat and like the teeth repeat, and also as speech is a constant repetition in order to create meaning. And the very idea of the head of the year is this conceptualization and this speech and the bringing down from imagination into words of our hopes, of our prayers, of our wants. And this is very much demonstrated in the biblical, the midrash, that Adam and Eve and the whole creation of the entire world was created on this day, the new year. In fact, the new year comes to celebrate Adam's birthday, the birthday of all humankind. And God created the world through speech. And God said, "Let there be light," is the classic opening to the book of Genesis. And so too, speech is the very basis of the intellectual and the philosophic new year. And the organizing of speech into a series of prayers, of liturgy, of structures, of performances, of requests, of poetry, of hopes, of judgment, the entire theatrics of being judged before the divine court is the idea of shedding the entire social consciousness into a linguistic form for us to study and to identify and to use to create. As God said, "Let there be light," and there was light and there was creation. But on the final day of creation, the day of Rosh Hashanah, the creation of mankind, that was on the sixth day of creation. And God did not say on this day, but rather God blessed, vayavarech oto, and he blessed that day. The very idea of blessing requires speech. The idea of blessing is some form of an analogy. The word blessing, bracha, actually comes from the Hebrew word berech, which is a kneecap. The kneecap is the very function of a blessing, is the function of a lever. the function of one position going one way and another one position going another way, and it allows for great mobility, dimensional or interdimensional mobility. The idea of berech or bracha is the idea to move one thing and have something else function, and that is done through speech generally. And all of this entire psycho-linguistic, philosophic New Year takes place on Rosh Hashanah, and it develops and expands into the Day of Atonement. And these subjects I've been asked to discuss in more detail, and I'm also prepared to take questions and give answers to the best of my ability.